Hello, today I'm going to talk about the conflict experience I've had and the strategies I've used to change the other person's mind. The conflict I experienced occurred when I was working on a team project. At that time, our team was producing presentation materials, but there was a disagreement about the direction of the presentation. I felt it was appropriate to organize the presentation materials first and then practice the presentation, but other team member wanted to write the presentation scripts at the same time while producing the presentation materials. I thought I should produce a submission with a fixed deadline first. The team member thought that the presentation should look academically deep and that the background knowledge explanation should be sufficient. At first, they didn't agree easily because they felt their opinions were right. I also kept insisting at first that simply submission in time is important, but over time, I felt that I couldn't persuade the other person simply by repeating my opinion. So I started to change my approach. First, I tried to understand the other person's position first. I asked why you think so, and in the process, I found that the other person values the professionalism and persuasiveness of the presentation. Then I tried to explain my thoughts a little more logically. For example, I convinced them that a delay in time could affect the score of the assignments because the deadline for submission is limited. I also tried to find a compromise, arguing that after completing the overall presentation drawing, writing the presentation scripts would further improve the overall flow. So I made a presentation for the presentation first, then wrote a presentation script for discussion and proposed it in the direction of dividing the individual section. As a result, the team members agreed to this approach, and the presentation could be completed in a much more balanced form. Through this experience, I learned important facts. In order to change a person's thinking, it is not simply to argue that one's opinion is correct, but the process of understanding the other person's point of view and persuading them logically is important. I also realized that in conflict situations, it is more important to find solutions that are mutually acceptable than to try to win. That's it for the presentation. Thank you.